All right, guys, check 1, 2, 3. How loud is the music on a scale from 1 to 10? How good is my microphone on a scale from 1 to 10? Need some chat feedback. What up? What up? What up? The music's not going to be on the whole time. It's just what's on right now. Yeah, the music I'm just playing because I'm about to go take a piss for 2 seconds. But how's the microphone? I dialed the music back. Mic is A1. Okay, cool. So real quick, guys, I'm going to take a quick piss and then we're going to come back. Send of the days in chat right now. BRB. All right, boys and girls, let me do this. Okay. So now let's go back out. Switch screens. Bam. Okay, cool. Look at that. Q&A lounge. Okay, so real quick, guys. I'm just curious. We'll iron some stuff out about this, and to be honest, for those of you guys who are interested in like, yo, what's up with the new setup and everything, this is not like a permanent thing moving forward. We're still going to be doing the stand-up, show my collection stuff, but whenever I've had a long week or something like that, and I don't feel like standing up in front of a camera for 2 hours in front of you guys like a bot, I'm going to be doing my desk setup, which will look like this. So it'll switch to this whenever we're doing Fragrantica lookups and whatnot. And it'll be my main when I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, reading the chats. So I'll still have the chat pulled up. I'm going to find a way to feature the live chat over there on the bookshelf. So that'll be pretty dope. Or I'll have it right below me here. We'll have the chat feed. So this is just when I want my desktop feel. I want to relax. I want to talk to more of my subscriber base. When I'm in this wide format, YouTube's not going to reward it that much, you know, with bleeding a ton of people in here. So my numbers will probably be low. But to be honest, I'd rather be on than not at all. Like, just because I don't feel like standing doesn't mean I don't want to actually be on. So this is a way for some of my more close subscribers to get in contact with me on the Q&A side without all of the barrage of algorithmic love YouTube's giving me when I'm doing the YouTube vertical formats. Okay. So what up to everybody? Let's see send of the days. Let's go through chat. This will also allow me to kind of exclusively look at chat. So Yabo says new setup, more like alternative setup, not necessarily a new setup. So none of those fragrances have a name, just the Sauvage. Yes. And by the way, guys, I do have this. So if any of you people still want to nerd out on a portion of my collection, just ask. I'll flash it on screen. There's for all you nerds. But what I'm going to be doing really soon is, if you guys look here, let's switch screens. I got my sound effects. Right?
Women. Brother, this guy stinks! Perfect.
You know, so we got our sound effects and all that stuff. But yeah, so I want to show you guys this real quick. So we got my soundboard and everything, but what we'll be able to do is when I'm on the widescreen setup, guys, instead of just having this, which is what I know people want to see, where is it? Um, oh, it's right here. Instead of having this, like, who wants to really do that, right? But I know a lot of people want to see my collection and stuff. So instead of doing that, what you'll be able to do is there will be a link in the description, but I'll also show this on display. So we'll have a third screen. And I haven't updated my Fragrantica collection in a long time. But if you look, like 8 to 12 months ago, I had registered a lot of stuff that I carried, right? But this setup has been long updated. So I need to go through here and update this with my actual current collection, which there's probably over 200 bottles to add to this and a few to remove. But once this is complete, you'll basically be able to switch screen to my third screen and it'll still have me in the corner and you guys can look at the entirety of my collection uh, here and there throughout the stream. So it'll be pretty dope because this looks way more visually pleasing than to be flashing my other, you know, my other part of my collection on screen. All right, let's address the chat. So, scent of the day, Carner Barcelonium. Okay, well, you're going to make me look this up now. Which one? Meg? Warm, spicy, amber. Okay, so this I'm very familiar with. This one right here. I have not smelled that. Okay, cool. Yeah, my scent of the day, guys, as you know, was good old the genesis of all fougères. Fougère Royale from Ubagant. We talked about this one. This is the Godfather original fougère fragrance, the first fougère fragrance ever made. I was able to snag a bottle of this a couple months ago. You guys haven't really seen, by the way, let me pull this up just to make sure I'm always live because the chat isn't always indicative of that. Okay, cool. We'll leave that on a spare window. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. But yeah, so you guys don't know this, but basically, I've been like mad stacking, you know, vintage. And if you look really close on this picture here to the right, the whole bottom two shelves is all vintage, if I can see. Yeah. So it's all fragrances like pre 2000. There's a couple in there that are like 2010 and below, but a majority of it is before the year 2000. I haven't reviewed any of that material for this channel, including a lot of the new clones I've gotten. There's a lot of clones. And also, I haven't reviewed a majority of the niche that I carry. So, like 70% of what's on this particular shelf, which I have even more fragrances than this, I haven't even put out the reviews for, even though I've been dropping reviews 1 to 2 times every single day. So I'm really excited to share that stuff with you guys in the future. I would share it sooner, but I'm accumulating fragrances so fast that I just, even if I released a new review per day, I- I'm going to be here all night. You know what I'm saying? But I am excited to get to those when we get to them. And just so you guys can see, if you guys want a little bit of exclusive, check this out. So a lot of you guys wonder like why I haven't shown you guys like current setups, right? But if we go to my YouTube channel and I just hit draft to show you guys all the stuff, a lot of you guys don't believe me when I say I have like 50 videos in queue. Like, just for example, here's how many reviews I have sitting in the queue waiting for you guys, waiting to be released to you guys. So right now there's 34 because I've been dropping, sometimes twice a day. So even if I didn't record like all next week, there's still 34 reviews in the queue for you guys. And here's, you guys can sneak peek, the names of these reviews. So basically every day I go in here, create a thumbnail, title it, and do all the metadata, and then make it available for you guys. So if there's ever a day where a video doesn't post, it's because I'm actually sick and literally can't get to my computer or something, but I'm always ahead. So every weekend or so I sit down and I batch record 5 to 10 reviews, but because I do that, there's just stuff waiting in the queue to drop, and I kind of just go to the latest video or the most early video that I did. As you see, we're about to finish Javoy, and then move on. But yeah, so there's already 32. If I could, technically I could wait 32 days to record another video, and I would be able to still drop for you guys every single day for 32 days. But anyways, so that's just to let you guys know a little bit into my life. But yeah, Fougere Royale is what I was rocking today. I do have 100 mil of this. This retails for like 280 or something like that. Pretty ridiculous. You really can't get it any cheaper than that. But its history is significant because you guys saw my podcast on the first, on the definition and origination of the term fougere, which means the fern. And this fragrance is what coined that term because the perfumer attempted to recreate the smell of a fern, and ferns are scentless, but he wanted to create a phantom note of a fern, what it would smell like if it had a smell. And when he recreated this accord, this was the fragrance that he came up with, Fougere Royale, which is a very green aromatic fougere. And so this is the genesis of all fougere fragrances. This was created in about 1880, I believe, 1880, 1882. This is the reformulation, but the original, yeah, 1882. And once this fragrance was made, the term fougere came out. Now, believe it or not, when I go back and I've been checking out all my vintage fragrances and everything, a lot of stuff, maybe about 80% of the stuff I've been collecting does have somewhat of a vintage nostalgia to it. This fragrance, however, is like utterly timeless. Like if you smelled this fragrance today, now granted, it was reformulated in 2010 to fit the modern crowd, but essentially it wasn't really changed much. They just made higher end ingredients go into it. And then some of the things like oak moss, actually no, oak moss was removed or banned a couple years ago. So they still used real oak moss with this, but this fragrance feels like an homage fragrance if it dropped a new release today. So it was pretty cool. I was sitting on this sealed in a box because I won it from an auction, and I was like, I'm just gonna sell it because I can get probably 200 off of this easily. But this is a piece of history, and I thought back to why I started my fragrance journey in the first place, and it was to be on a journey. And so I was like, why not? I'm staring at a piece of history right on my collection, and what am I going to do? Sell it for 200 bucks? Maybe, but on the other hand, people say this is the godfather of fougere, and what a cool way to have a interesting, diverse collection than to have something like this on your shelf. And I'm so glad I opened it because I wore it today at work, and it just feels so modern. And it's one of the most elegant fougere fragrances I've ever smelled. And for a lot of people, it's in their top fives. So I was happy to rock that. Okay, let's look at the chat a little bit. I'll pull it up here so y'all can see I'm working through it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and like button for sure since I'm in widescreen. SB, I'd like to get a frag channel going, but my collection is really small. What steps would you recommend to get started? Get started. There's no requirements to turn on your camera, so you should just turn on your camera and talk about fragrances. Um, Shout outs to my guys, Trey, like Trey Fragrance, who, Trey had like less than 30 fragrances at one point, and he talked about those same fragrances for like a year straight. And he has more subscribers than me. I believe he has like 5K. So you can grow an audience with a small amount of fragrances. Just don't act like something you're not. You don't have to be the Lord of Fragrance. You don't have to be a fragrance expert. Just document your journey and the things that you love about fragrance. Do that authentically and don't count the numbers. Just do what you love to do, and people will come in, and you'll be surprised. My fragrance channel started as a joke, guys. And I say a joke just because I really didn't anticipate it growing into a following. My second son was born. I wasn't able to get in my office much. And so I started to talk about a fragrance. And every night I'd spend about 15 minutes talking about a fragrance on camera for nothing other than to say I did something other than parent and be a husband and a father all day. And the response was just crazy. So I kept doing it. And yeah, so I really thought, by the time year one was over with my second son, I would quit and go back to whatever I was doing. But the response was just so crazy that I just kept going. And now we're, a year and some change in, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, turn the camera on. Don't count the numbers. Just be authentic. Think about your viewers and start with what you're passionate about and let that ride the wave of your consistency. Scent of the day, Paris Corner Cosmic Giardino. Great Jean Paul Lebeau clone. Beautiful. SB turned on the fragrance bottle and got put on the shelf. Yes, he did. I heard all the older pimps used to wear jupe all the time. Is this true? Couldn't be more false. I do know a lot of people that like jupe, but they don't wear it. Let's go. We get in the exclusive stream. Yes, purchase Desert Range should be here tomorrow. What can I expect based on your last statement? I'm in for a good time. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, if you like anything like Aqua di Gio, Profumo, even Profondo, anything in that kind of mineralic earth, super fresh, but this one is more unique. It's closer to Aqua di Gio Profumo. It's a slightly green, metallic rainwater type of scent, but it's sparkling. It's beautiful. Sillage and longevity is really nice. It's very unique, and I don't think anything on your shelf is going to smell like it unless you actually have Aqua di Gio Profumo. Then it might be redundant, but 99% of people that I know don't even have Profumo. And if you wanted to get Profumo today, you are going to pay north of $500 for it just because it is inaccessible anywhere. So very unique scent. I think it's among the top 3 best scents ever made from the house. That's just my opinion. We're my age, my taste, and all that. And also, just so you guys know, day 3 is dropping a new fragrance. I think 1st or the 4th of the month. Let me actually check my notes here because I'm going to try to get an interview with Michael soon. Let me check my notes just to see the release date because I haven't actually dropped my video for it yet. Okay. Okay, so my notes say the pre-sale has started now because it is the 17th. So the pre-sale opened up on the 15th and it will go to the 31st. I believe the pre-sale is typically 100 to 200 bottles reserved. So if you want the fragrance, get it. But I will warn you, there is a price hike on it. The fragrances were originally $155. All of the day 3 fragrances as of a couple months ago price increased to like 175. And Kix actually just showed this to me today. The Midnight Raspberry fragrance is retailing at 250. There will be codes to get it down closer to the 200 range, but it's still going to be the most expensive release. So I would recommend try it before you buy it. I have smelled it. I have worn it. It's a great fragrance, but try it before you buy it. I'm actually going into the boutique tomorrow to get a little bit more information, talk with Michael, see if I can get you guys any more insider scoop information. But yeah, so the official release is the 8th. So November 8th, and the pre-sale is open October right now from the 15th through the 31st. Okay, let's address the chat again. Scent of the day, Elo, the afternoon of a fawn. Oh, I've smelled that. Amazing woody masculine with a sweet rain scent and a hint of florals. Okay. What was that bottle on your shelf that looked like an LV? Let's check. I'll leave it up, but tell me, starting from the top row is 1, and then going down 2, 3, 4, 5. What shelf is it on? And then I'll tell you which one it is if you're still here. Scent of the day, Cocktail Intense. Beautiful, beautiful. Got to smell Amorphous from Vina Cava, and quite frankly, it doesn't really smell like blood. Oh yeah, I remember that scent. I don't know of anything similar other than Amouage's, whatever the red bottle is of Amouage. There's a blood note in it as well, but it doesn't smell exactly like blood, but it does smell like a vampire fragrance. That's where I'm at. I have 20-ish bottles. Day 3 Midnight Raspberry. Wait. So there's more Day 3 frags coming out? Yes, in fact. Well, actually, I can't announce this, but yeah. Put it this way. Midnight Raspberry is coming out. What up, Bo? Good to see you, Bo. Okay, so he's not in the chat. So let me go ahead and remove this. Switch back up. Okay. Where's the Q&A? I'm sure the numbers are going to be low tonight, but what's going on for the Q&A? You guys got any questions? Have you tried the Lalique private line? I recently tried Zamak. Decent. Let me check. So fragrances that I've tried up until this point, I own a few bottles of Eau de Lalique right here. So there's a lot that I'm looking to get into. I'm right now currently bought this one, this one, this one. I have this one. I have this one. I have this one. I have this one. Obviously, I have Lalique White and Black. I'm currently looking to acquire this one. I have Ombre. I have Pearl. Don't have it, don't have it, don't have it. Ordering this one currently. Have it. Have it. Don't have it. Never seen it. I have Sport. I have Linsumi. I have Linsumi Force. I have Amethyst. Don't have Eclat or Exquise. I do have Lalique from Lalique. I have all 3 of these. Don't have these 2. Definitely don't have a lot of these. A lot of these with the crazy glass work, they go for like $1,000 minimum. That's the thing, is Lalique originally in the early 1950s was known, even up to the 2000s, was known for their glass work. They were originally a glass manufacturing brand, and they specialize in glass. So anytime you see fancy glass from Lalique, you're gonna get a surcharge just from the glass. How good is, so let's see. So Lalik Zamak, let me look that up real quick. I have not smelled this yet. I've had my eye on it, but people are charging like $150 for it, so haven't quite copped it yet, but I know it's decent. How was your experience with it? Have you liked it, Goose? Which fragrance is your favorite right now from your collection? I don't really have a favorite, but that Ubagant Fougere Royale is something special. I really enjoyed my wearing of it today. Clones, I just recently got this. I actually got this in today. This Ajmal Amaze, believe it or not, it is basically Aventus cologne with a slight touch of BR540. I know I haven't released a clone video in a long time, but I do have a lot of clones that I have not reviewed in my collection. I'm just kind of stacking it up for you guys. 45 on Joma. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'll look into it. Let's see. Have you tried, which fragrance is your favorite? Yeah, right now I'm really enjoying Ubagant Fougere Royale. How is Diaghilev? I've never smelled it. The thing about Diaghilev is, don't look at this fragrance like something that would sit next to your collection and be something that you're grabbing for all the time. This is a highly executive, highly formal wear. In fact, I don't think you could wear Diaghilev in anything other than a tux. This is a fragrance the president would wear. This is a fragrance a tyrannical dictator would wear. It is so potent. One spray could literally go 48 hours in my opinion. If I'm ever wearing Diaghilev, I would never put on more than 2 sprays, front and back, call it a day. It is like a piece of artwork, a piece of history, a museum piece to a collection, because other than Guerlain's Mitsuko, which is essentially what this is cloning, nothing else out there will give you something like this. I think it's a pretty cool smell, but because it is so formal and so brash and in your face, you can't wear this often. It is a truly special occasion juice, you know, funeral, formal, big business, big executive decisions, super formal affairs, that type of vibe. Now, I think the cheapest, what are people selling it for on eBay? I'm curious. See, like, this is a crazy deal. That's a crazy deal for Diaghilev. In fact, I would question if that was a fake. The lowest I've seen Diaghilev is around this price point, the $500 mark. And I think it typically retails for north of $1,000. But yeah, Diaghilev's a great scent. I have it. Don't ask me, like, I didn't acquire it because I had to get it from a scent or I tried it and had to buy it. My collection is a reflection of top 20 niche, top 20 designer, top 20 clone, top 20 independent niche, and top 20 vintage. So for me in the niche collection, it is a work of art. Let's see. At what points in your fragrance journey was your collection growing the slowest and the fastest? It's always been fast, Yabo. If you've been watching since the beginning, I have dropped a review of a fragrance every single day. So since my fragrance channel has started, I have dropped over 900 reviews on my channel. So it's never been slow. It's always been fast. You guys should know that. collection always grows slower after the years of collecting, depending on if you're trying. Yeah, I mean, your collection should definitely slow down over time, but if you're a content creator, it's always fast. If a content creator's journey starts slowing up, it'll be reflected in their content. They'll either stop making content or they'll be very sparse. But if you guys see me dropping fragrance content every day, it's because I can, because my collection and infrastructure can support it. Right now, I probably have over 100 bottles that have not been reviewed, and I probably have over 200 decants that haven't been reviewed yet. So you guys are fully going to be fed at least for the next year, every day straight. Correct. Even a decant is like 50 bucks. Yeah, it is. Isn't Diaghilev a clone? To me it is, because essentially it's remaking this fragrance right here, Mitsuko. But the difference between Diaghilev and this is Diaghilev is way more intense. Mitsuko, like if you look at the difference between Aventus Absolute and Aventus Cologne, Aventus Cologne feels like half of the potency of an Aventus Absolute type of fragrance. So in the same way, Mitsuko feels a lot lighter and fresher, but it's the exact same thing essentially. Now, so it's not redundant in that respect, because this is obviously the way more potent juice, and it does smell quite a bit richer. But yes, Mitsuko was made in the same vein of the history of the scent as Diaghilev was, but Diaghilev obviously was more popular because Roja made it and it came later on. But the story of Diaghilev and how it was created, you know, with the aristocrat Diaghilev and going to the ballroom and, you know, the whole story, I'll cover all of that in my review. The same story and whatever went into Mitsuko as Diaghilev. So yes, in my eyes, I think Diaghilev is a clone. And I mentioned that in my podcast video, as you guys have already heard me state, which was why I thought Justin Copeland's video was a somewhat disingenuous, just because he gave Roja so much praise for originality. And I think when you look behind the curtains, a lot of Roja's designs were reimagined clonery of past greatness. But Roja also has a lot of beautiful original creations, I think, and that doesn't discredit his work. I just think Justin's hard stance on Roja, but being against a lot of clone houses because of originality's sake, was just kind of disingenuous. It wasn't super thoughtful. But you can tell that in Justin's analysis, he has a lot more information about niche perfumery, and he's lightly researched clone perfumery. His statistics were very much ChatGPT. Tuesday, I'll be wearing for first time Say Bois 1920 Giarco. It's all the masculine notes. I'm sure it will be fire. Probably. What other questions you got for me in the chat, man? This is an intimate stream, man. I'm sure there's not a lot of people on. Let's see. Yeah, our numbers are low, but that's okay. I anticipated that. People want to see me standing in front of fragrances all night. That's okay. What other questions do we got, guys? And then I'll sign off after we're done. Hey, man, this is y'all's chance to get all the personal time you want. You know, if y'all are upset because you ask one question and it takes an hour for me to get back to your question because I got 40 questions to get through, this is your time to ask a bunch of questions. You get personal time with me. What fragrance perfectly captures the elegance and power of a hypercar? Easy. This fragrance right here. Speed Legends Night Drive. Now, check this out. So, Ex Nihilo's Speed Legends Night Drive perfume is inspired by the thrill of high speed racing, reflecting the adrenaline fueled rush in the form of an invigorating, well, blah, blah, blah. Let me actually pull up Lucky Scent because I believe they describe this fragrance better. No, they don't even have it listed. Huh. Let's see. Ex Nihilo Speed Legends Night Drive. Huh. Well, I remember seeing a huge write-up on this fragrance, but I can't seem to find it right now. But the fragrance was made to simulate driving an exotic car at night and what the inside of an exotic vehicle would smell like if you were driving in the night. And it was a collaboration fragrance. This doesn't smell like gasoline or anything like that. This is a metallic woody amber. Let me grab it. And truly, when I first wore this fragrance, I thought it was somewhat simple, but the beauty is really in the dry down. Because truthfully, if you've ever driven, you don't have to have an exotic car to appreciate this. If you're just driving in your car at night, and I haven't done my review on this yet, but if you're just driving in your car at night with this fragrance on, it's quite special. You know, it's got this like vibrant, warm amber. It's got this fresh, exotic car metal feel with the tiniest touch of kind of like new car smell leather. But you know, the expensive leather you get when you step into an exotic vehicle, the leather feels more, you know, Italian grade. It's cleaner, it's less faux leather. And yeah, it's just a nice car. It's just a nice fragrance. Imagine kind of like Tokyo nights, Tokyo drifting in an exotic car, or like a souped up car late at night racing, doing 110. That's what this fragrance brings out for me. Let's see. I also feel like Gray Vetiver from Tom Ford captures a little more elegance if you're looking for a fragrance that's a little more elegant rather than aggressive. I always said that Gray Vetiver Eau de Parfum feels like you're driving in like a gray Jaguar or something like that, or like an all-white Bugatti, and you're just driving through like the Laguna Hills or something. Definitely very nice fragrance. Also, have you put your nose to any of the F1 fragrances? I haven't. Now, there has been some vintage that I've come across. In fact, shout outs to Kix. He has a couple of these. This Bugatti fragrance I've come across. Obviously Bentley, obviously Mercedes. I think Corvette made one. I've come across a couple of car brand fragrances, but not a ton. Are you going to get the new Parfum de Marly samples? Are you talking about the more McDonald's looking ones? Yeah, these Valero, Aragon, Curios. I don't know. If you guys want me to, per request, I'll look into them. But I wasn't particularly drawn to them. I really feel like they're in this phase of making these like light, airy scents. You know, like look at this. 3 out of 5. Carios. .8 out of 5. Valero. .3 out of 5. So I mean, and again, this sample size is small, you know, less than 100 votes, but normally if a fragrance is good under 100 votes, those guys are trying to champion the fragrance. So all 3 of them have kind of been duds on Fragrantica so far. So unless you guys request them, you know, I'll review them if you guys want, but they haven't really been scratching my interest. Still need to sample Tom Ford Grey Vetiver Royal Blanc was a great recommendation. Hey, I'm glad you liked it, Bo. I think men struggle to wear florals, but I think that one is one where like you want attention from your wifey or your girl. It's like a nice middle of the road, gender neutral, white floral. It's got a lot of swag to it. It's signature, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a big hug. You know, if you're an aggressive guy, but you want women to look at you and think like, man, I want to just hug that guy and be up on that guy because it looks like he might have a soft side or something, you know, you put that fragrance on and now it's got good contrast for a guy. Is there anything similar to Legends Night Drive? Because I know that's a pain to find. Let's check. I'm sure there is. Some people said Sauvage. Oh, the elixir. So obviously the original Speed Legends, I believe, is more accessible. Roja's Apex might be a cool alternative because this is a solid fragrance. But I wouldn't get this version. I would definitely get the more aggressive version, this one. I would get the Parfum because you could probably get this. Yeah, see, so you can get this for 200. $188. So hey, you could get it in the high ones. Mercari has a couple, it looks like. Where's this guy saying the juice level is at? That's kind of dumb. 133. This is 100 mil. So look at this. 100 mil for 133, 93% full. That's a good deal. That's a great deal. Yeah, it's a great fragrance. It is a great fragrance. I've tried this, and honestly, for a Roja release, I feel like Apex is quite a bit modern and fresh. You don't necessarily have maybe the vintage bravado smell wise of a Roja, but it definitely has that Roja quality finish on it. It's a top heavy, you know, fragrance, very fresh, very nice, you know, and this will replace a lot of your green fragrances, Coach Green, a lot of your Parfums de Marly variations like Sedley, fragrances like dang, why am I going blank on green fragrances? You know, your Amouage Epic, your Beach Hut Man. It's not quite Beach Hut, but more of a Epic replacement. This is nice. This is nice. I personally feel though like the superior fragrance to all of these is going to be vetiver. So this fragrance right here, because for about 130 you can get 100 mil of this, and this is just, to me, in the vein of Apex but the more superior fragrance. But if you want something, I feel like more out of the vetiver category, then Apex I think is your solid option. But if you want something a little more masculine, for lack of better words, this and Apex are very close friends. What's the most aggressively masculine frag you know of that's not going to get weird looks? I mean, aggressively masculine is not really asking for looks, it's demanding looks, right? You know, and you have a lot of fragrances that do this. One of the most aggressively masculine fragrances out there that people love is Aventus, right? Aventus Cologne, Aventus Absolute. Those are very dominantly masculine, and they're aggressive. Anything woody, you know, anything woody, anything spicy, anything peppery, anything with a tart citrus, you know what I'm saying? Just take your pick. Yeah, you know, Tiziana Terenzi as a house hasn't really impressed me, but maybe I'll give them a shot again at some point. Any other last questions that y'all have for me? Starting to get a little bit tired. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Anytime. All right, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos, especially with numbers as low as these tonight. I will be in full rotation in front of my collection. That'll mostly be the format. It's just when I'm too tired, you know. So basically, anytime you guys see me in this more high production setup, just know that's the time where if you actually have any questions, you'll get a lot more chance to just fire away a ton of questions, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great Friday. Hope you guys get well rested and rejuvenated on this weekend. I know my week and my month has been absolutely nuts, so I'm going to be happy to go into the weekend. Maybe we can jump on Sunday night and do the Q&A back in front of the collection when I get a little more energy. But if you guys have any questions, you guys know whether it's packed in here or it's not, you can always copy paste your questions in the comment section once the video ends, and I always am very quick to respond. So love you guys. Thanks for all you guys who always tap in, even no matter what the crowd size is, and I really look forward to dropping a lot of content. I'm actually going to douse the community in content this weekend, so I'm looking forward to you guys being around, and I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. And until next time, man, thank you guys so much for rocking with me, and have an awesome weekend.